So I don't know if there's anybody in New York listening, but Eric Adams is already such a huge disappointment. For real. Like he was hired, and he was voted in. People were very excited because he's a black guy, and everyone thought he was going to be tough on crime. And people thought, wow, he really represents the city. He's really going to take care of business. And what does he do as soon as he gets to office? He's talking about why New Yorkers need to eat a plant-based diet. And this was during a press conference yesterday, I think yesterday or Monday. And it's just shocking that this is what he's taking his time with. Like, this is what he's focusing on. This is from Tom Elliott. New York City mayor warns, I've got to get New Yorkers to eat a plant-based centered life.
You brought up your eating habits. I just want to clarify something. How often do you eat fish? And do you eat any other animal proteins?
I eat a plant-based centered life. Some people want to call me vegan. Vegans eat Oreos and they drink Coca-Cola. I don't. I eat a plant-based centered life. And those who are the food police for me, they can food police all the time. I eat a plant-based centered life.
So you eat fish?
I eat a plant-based centered life. And I'm not going down that. Hold on. Please don't do that yelling out stuff with me. I don't do it to you. Don't do it to me. I eat a plant-based centered life. And I'm not going down this rabbit hole of what do you eat? If you eat cake and it has eggs in it, that you analyze it. I'm not doing that. The more plant-based you eat, the better and healthier you are. That is my question to those who are following me around in restaurants, wondering what I'm ordering. Listen, I'm not doing that. That's noise to me. I got to get New Yorkers to eat a plant-based centered life.
I don't understand. The more I listen to this, the more I'm like, who are these marching orders coming from? Crime is the number one problem in New York City right now. We have fucking crackheads like all over the place. It's real bad. People have compared it to like Dinkins era New York City. Like, he shouldn't be talking about anything other than crime. But of course, like, who knows? Maybe he talked about crime during this press conference and people are just clipping this. But he sounds annoyed here already. He sounds like, oh, why are people asking me what I eat? Is Eric Adams a vegan? That's what I'm gonna Google. Hold on. Is Eric Adams a vegan? Because that one reporter was like, oh, do you eat fish? The mayor. Okay, this is out of the New York Times. New York Times. Did Eric Adams, an avowed vegan, eat fish? Yes, and it was no fluke. Okay, so this is coming out of the Times. This is from February 7th. So he did the press conference on Monday, and this came out on Monday. Mayor, all right, I'm going to switch the screen so you guys can see this. Because why are people up his ass about what he eats? And I also I'm wondering why he's pushing this so hard when there's such bigger problems out there. You know, like, who are these orders coming from? Just, you can tell by how he says it. I have to get New Yorkers to eat a plant-based. Have to. Why? Says who? For much of his recent public life, Mayor Eric Adams had loudly proclaimed he loves salads, beets, lentils, and green smoothies. Gay? No, I eat all that shit too. And that transforming his diet changed his life. Well, good for you. I don't know that New Yorkers need help with figuring out what to eat. They're fucking adults. People are going to eat what they want to eat. But on Monday, Mr. Adams, New York City's first purported vegan mayor, was confronted with several accounts of dining on fish in public and acknowledged that he was imperfect and had not always stuck to a strictly vegan diet. Which means he had fish and he got caught. And he's trying to sound tough and he's trying to be like, oh, it's noise to me. But he's not denying it. He's not saying, yes, I did have fish. Sorry, my bad. He's just avoiding it. Here's my message. The more plant-based meals you have, the healthier you're going to be. I don't know. I've seen some people on the carnivore diet that are pretty happy and seem pretty healthy. I.e. Michaela Peterson, Jordan Peterson. He's had a lot of health problems. But Rogan, he's like a freaking ox, that guy. Mr. Adams told reporters at an event announcing he's announcing a program to help New Yorkers with chronic illness to improve their diets. Yeah, I think New Yorkers are struggling with crime and crackheads everywhere, like literally having to step over them when they get in and out of the subway. What do I know? I'm only in the city once a week, but I see things. Don't worry don't worry what's on Mayor Adams' plate. Put these items on your plate. Well, it's the whole thing, like, do as I say, not as I do. And by the way, just say you're a vegetarian or just say you're a pescatarian. Just say, "Yeah, I eat fish." Oh my god, this is great. This controversy is called FishGate on social media. It was part of a humorous diversion. Exactly, it's a fucking diversion. But it also reinforced concerns that Mr. Adams often stretches the truth. There have been questions over whether he actually lives in a Brooklyn apartment. He failed to report rental income and blamed his accountant who was living in a homeless shelter. What? He acknowledged that a story he told at a commencement address about a neighbor's dog befouling his yard did not happen to him. Wow. So he's not as real of a New Yorker as people thought, which I knew. I talked to Curtis Sliwa, who was running, who should have won because he really isn't a real New Yorker. He founded the Guardian Angels. He's been like on the streets for, well, no, he's not homeless, but he's like on the streets. He's the most in touch guy with what's going on in New York City. He should have won. But of course, the people that should win never seem to. At first, Mr. Adams refused to say on Monday whether he eats fish or other animal products. He said, "Some people want to call me vegan." He pointed out that some vegans eat Oreo cookies. No, they don't, because Oreos have the inside of the Oreo is made, there's gelatin in there. So if you're like a proper vegan, you're not going to eat Oreos. And he does not. He appeared annoyed that he kept getting asked about his diet. Well, man, when you're telling people what to eat, you better be perfect. You better not have one photo with you and a chicken leg. You better not have, you know what I mean? If you're saying you're vegan and you're seen eating fish, yeah, like prepared to get questions about it. Those who have questions on what I'm eating, I'm over 18 and I know how to take care of myself. Yeah, so do all the other people who live in New York. I think most people know that vegetables are better than no vegetables. And I think most people know generally like what's good and what's bad for them. I think it comes down to like preference number 1 and price number 2. Try going to like the fucking poorest parts of New York City and like ripping a KFC bag out of their hands and being like, "No, here, have the salad." You know, it's all for show. People are not really going to stop eating how they're eating. It's like, why is he doing this? Why is it so important for him to push this agenda? And then I go, okay, like, well, who is, I mean, I was talking about this with Frank like yesterday. Because we see this and he's talking about, oh, you got to go plant-based. And I was like, the more he talks about this, the more I really want to go eat a big ass steak. So we went to Outback. We had date night last night. We ordered the bloomin' onion, which I mean, here's another thing. If you once you have the bloomin' onion, even a part of it, it's over. The night is over. No one's having sex. Nothing is, just go ahead and cross off any kind of intimate time because you're going to be blowing up for the rest of the night. Just know that when the words bloomin' onion come out of your mouth when you're ordering, just know that one decision is going to dictate the rest of the night. Just giving my tips here. These are my Valentine's tips. So yeah, Eric Adams, when you say that that you're vegan and everyone should be plant-based, yeah, people are going to closely scrutinize what you're eating. You can't blame them, especially when there's bigger problems going on in New York City. If you haven't noticed, look at the pictures of yesteryear and then look at the pictures now. I wear my suit so much better than I did 8 years ago. Nobody gives a shit. Literally nobody fucking cares. You and like whoever's fucking you. Those are the only people who care what you eat. The mayor's love for vegetables was a central theme of his campaign, and I don't feel like it was. I don't know. He wrote a book 2 years ago about his health journey. In the book, he described his plant-based diet as not eating any animal products or anything that ever had a face or a mother. Okay, Lisa Simpson. He characterized his diet as vegan to the New York Times in 2017. That's the thing, is like once you come out with a big declaration like that, I'm vegan. It's like people, and you're in the public eye, people are going to be watching you. And a news release from his office last year quoted a nonprofit leader calling him New York City's most famous vegan. Give me a break. There were hints that Mr. Adams had flirted with pescatarianism, including a report in the New York Times over the summer that Mr. Adams ate broiled fish and spinach at Rouse in East Harlem. His campaign insisted that he ate eggplant parm without the cheese. What? The two don't even look the same. Eggplant parm without cheese is like would be mostly covered in sauce. So if he was seen eating broiled fish and spinach, that's like your plate is going to look white and green. But his campaign is insisting that it's eggplant parm without cheese. So then that's red sauce. Well, then that looks totally different. I feel like someone's lying. And that's what this article is saying, right? It just points to him kind of lying a bunch. Even though it's over something small, like nobody gives a fuck about what he eats, but it's like you're making us care about it. When Mr. Adams faced questions over his residency last year, he gave reporters a tour of his Brooklyn apartment that revealed salmon in his refrigerator. FishGate. Then Politico reported on Saturday that Mr. Adams regularly dined on fish at an Italian restaurant, Osteria La Baia, in Midtown Manhattan. A spokesman for the mayor, Maxwell Young, denied to Politico that Mr. Adams eat fish. Oh my God. So that you eat fish, man. On Monday, Mr. Adams sought to end the curiosity. He encouraged New Yorkers to ignore the noise and criticize the food police. Yeah, these aren't coming out of nowhere, though. You can't make this up. Like either you're seen eating fish or you're not. Which he described as reporters trailing him at restaurants. But this is such a fucking distraction. This is literally a distraction. So he doesn't have to tackle the fucking crime problem. But by day's end, Mr. Adams sent out another clarification to set the record straight. I want to be a role model for people who are following to aspire a plant-based diet. But then they don't need you. They're probably following like 20 different people on Instagram. People don't look to their mayor for like how to eat and be healthy. Like everyone has a phone. Everyone's like, you're not like a hot Instagram thought, Eric Adams. Okay. You're not like some like sexy gym dude. So unless you want to start an Instagram account with your shirt off, like no one's going to you for health and fitness advice. Some elected officials knew his flexibility. Diane Savino, a state senator who endorsed Mr. Adams for mayor, he's not vegan. He's plant-based. Who gives a fuck? Who gives a fuck? He lost 35 pounds. He cured his own diabetes. Good for you, Eric Adams. If I chose to put cream in my tea, I don't beat myself up for that. Well, it means you're not a vegan then, man. These fucking vegans. I had a girl who I went to college with who was a vegetarian who lived in my house. We all rented a house together senior year. She claimed to be vegetarian. She ate a bucket of port wine cheese every day. I would watch her do it. She'd just like curl up with it and be like, ha, ha, ha. And that's when I learned vegetarians ain't shit. What's up, Morgan? Who would have thought a Democrat was a compulsive liar? Oh, shit. Bow, 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 bow. Caligula. I dated a vegan girl years ago. She'd already been vegan for over a decade at that point. They know what to do already. Adams. SMH. So, like, what's behind this? Like, why is he pushing this so hard? Why is this so much more important? I don't know. Like, I don't know. I want to figure out where the marching orders are coming from on this. Let's see. Okay. I played this already. You notice when he gets angry, he's like, I have to get New Yorkers on a plant-based diet.
If you eat cake and it has eggs in it that you analyze,
you're not a
I'm
vegan.
not doing that. The more plant-based you eat,
Look at this
the better
doctor.
and healthier you are.
How much money is she getting paid to
to
just
those
nod
who
the
are
whole
following me
time?
around in restaurants, wondering what I'm ordering. Listen, I'm not doing that. That's noise to me. I got to get New Yorkers to eat a plant-based scented life.
I got to get them to do that. Why? Do you get extra like globalist points? Is it good for your social credit score, Eric Adams?
You brought up your eating habits.
Do you have like a personal ESG score? Okay. I don't mind. Yeah, exactly. Dude, your city is falling apart. You're talking about eating bean burgers. Yeah. What's a plant-based centered life? Yeah, first of all, the wording is awkward. Just say like, yeah, mostly vegetables. Why do you have to it's just this doesn't really roll off the tongue. I was robbed twice on a New York City subway, once on the way to work and then on the way home from work. This was today. Damn. But at least no one shoved me off the platform in front of a moving train. That was Jesus Christ. See, I don't know. I feel like men, thank God I've never been mugged. I've never been jumped. Like, I don't know if I've just been real lucky or I'm kind of smart about where I go over the years. Like, I've been in and out of the city since like 2005. And yeah, maybe I just figure out like where to go and, when to take cabs and like when I can walk. But it just seems to me that like a lot of dudes are getting mugged in the city. Like my buddy Andrew Harms, who's on Wet Spot, like he got mugged on his way into doing my show. And he still did the show. Like his hair was all fucked up. Like it was all scuffled. Like, and they took his wallet. He had no money, no card on him or anything. And he still came and did the show. I mean, a bunch of us like gave him money and Metro cards and food and shit. And he ended up being okay. But I'm like, I don't hear about women getting mugged ever. It's dudes that are getting mugged. And people can't understand, oh, why isn't tourism back? Because it's not safe. It would be a shame if citizen journalists followed him around to every meal to determine if he's practicing what he's preaching. Exactly this. Like, then don't make it a thing. If you're not perfect about it, then don't tell people that, you know what I mean, that you're vegan. Yeah, Mayor Big Gulp to this. New York City is famous for having mayors that push their own life choices as public policy over having well-run city services. 100%. Oh, God. Sir, what do you say to the 5 gangbangers who were held at the station for a total of 3 hours and then released when they immediately got more guns and killed multiple people, innocent pedestrians? Plant-based centered life. Yeah, what do you say to the guy who's pushing people into the subway? Like, I try to walk everywhere I can in the city, but if I have to take the subway, like, yeah, I'm not at all going to be walking towards the end of it. Like, I stay in the middle. I lean up against the signs that are in the middle of the platform. I'm constantly looking around me. Not obviously, but I'm like, whoo. Yeah. I think a better approach, Eric Adams, would be, that's the thing is like, are you gonna run, are rich people, are the elites gonna stop eating meat? No. You're always you don't want to, take the steakhouses out of business, Del Frisco's, Morton's, right? You're always gonna have guys who are like having meetings in the city and are still gonna want to go out to their business lunches. So it's like, I think is he trying to get the regular people and the poor people to stop eating meat? Well, it's like a better advice would be like, stop eating fast food and stop eating fried food, because those two things actually do wonders for you. Like, and I think like fried food and fast food is cheaper and easier to get, tastier. So like, I'm no nutrition expert, but start there. Don't tell people to just stop eating meat, because you know what I mean? That's like 10 steps ahead. Like, just get people to like step 1, drink more water, stop eating as much fried food. Maybe eat 1 less fried meal a week. Like, get real about what people are eating and what people are capable of eating, which is like, tells me that this is not a genuine attempt. This is just, I don't know. This is a show. This to me looks like a show. Because if you really wanted people to eat better, you'd be like in front of McDonald's, be like, don't fucking go in here. I am harping on this issue. Gentleman bystander. The significance of pushing plant-based makes it a more pliable surf class that can be sustained by Zebastu style farms. What the fuck? I gotta see. I appreciate your guys' comments and super chats, but when you send me something and I have to look it up immediately, Zaibatsu farms. What in the heck is that? Are you talking about like a vertical farms? Yeah, I think what they're trying to do in New York City is like they've already made it so that the people who are in the city still, it's like they're either like rich kids who can at any time go wherever the fuck they want. They're there for NYU, or they're there to like experience city life. Or or you have like the rich elites who they have one place in New York City and then they have a house in the country or whatever. They have multiple houses so they can come and go as they please. So only people that are really left, I think, are the people that can't move out. And they know that they kind of have New York City by the ball. So they're like, okay, how much can we get away with? Can we get people to stop eating meat? Like, we're just coming off of 2 years of being told what to do, and these people still haven't left New York City, like a city with like the most mandates, the strictest rules. And if these people are still here, they either can't or won't leave. So what else can we make them do? Like, they're primed and ready for being told what to do. And I think if the government can tell people what they can and can't eat and they go along with that, like, what else would they go along with? Can we tell them? I mean, they've already been telling us to not have kids, that it's more sustainable to not have kids and have a family, right? That it's more ecologically friendly. It's less of a ecological footprint. So I just think they want to turn New York City into, right, like people have said, like, oh, they're going to turn it into like a smart city. I think these are all tests to see how much people will go along with.